call these the bad move, the good bad move, and the quick step. The quick step basically is where you've got the runner taking the huge one-way lead. And all we're going to do is, I'll do it without a glove, all we're going to do is just step off and throw to first base. All I'm trying to do is shorten his lead a little bit so I can go now with my setup moves. The bad move is going to be your obvious, the bad move is going to be your obvious move that most left-handers have anyway, but it's just going to be lift, step right at first base. And I'm going to do that maybe once or twice. I'm going to lift, and I'm going to come right at first base. I'm going to let that runner know that I'm coming to first base. I'm not trying to do anything to fool him. I want him to know that I'm coming to first base. So that's my bad move. Then I'm going to try to gradually maybe develop one or two more moves off of that move that are going to be a little bit better. One of them is going to be what I call my good bad move. That's going to be the move that I'm going to try to sell that runner into being my best move. Now remember, on every bad move, this is important, on every bad move, we want to make sure that the first head look is going home and that the glove hand is reaching to first base on every bad move. So anytime we're setting a runner up, we're always going to look home first and we're always going to reach to first base when we're throwing. That is critical. That is critical, and I'll explain that later why. But on my setup moves, I'm going to have one where I might just go a little bit slower, and then I'm going to step directly at the runner. Okay? My first move is real obvious. The second move is a little bit slower. Step right at him. Now my best bad move might look something like this. Come set up, look, and then slow and step right at him. I'm just going to slow everything down. What I'm trying to do is get the runner to feel comfortable. I want the runner to be in such a comfort zone at first base that he thinks that he has me figured out and he can steal second base easier or not be in any threat of being picked off. Okay? So once I've gotten through those moves, I've done my job on setting the guy up. Now, early on, I'm only going to show the bad move maybe to the first guy that gets on first base. The first guy, now he obviously has to be a runner. If he's the big fat catcher, I'm not going to try to worry about him. But guys that I know are running threat, I'm going to do my setup moves with them. Later in the game, when I get runners on, I may not go to the bad move because I know that's not my best move. Let me also say this, that the runner, it doesn't matter what the coach tells runners, what you guys tell your runners before a game about my move or my lefty's moves. It doesn't matter what they hear or see in the dugout. What matters is what they see one-on-one. It's a totally different ball game when it's me against you one-on-one. And I'll share a story at the end about Vanderbilt University and something that happened then. Okay, number one, the pickoff is always predetermined. It's always predetermined. I never get on the mound and get ready into my set position and then decide, okay, I'm going to try to pick the guy off. I know when I get the ball back from the catcher that now I'm going to try to set this guy up. I'm trying to pick him off. Okay, so it's predetermined. There's three areas that you're going to work on: balance, direction, and follow-through. It's critical for pitchers, especially lefties, to have a balanced leg lift under control. This will eliminate runners running on the first move, which 95% of runners are going to take off on your first move. If you have a balanced leg lift, you control them. You just stop, step down, and throw to first base. You're under control. You control the base runner. Okay? Direction is the direction that I'm going to use when I'm throwing home or when I'm throwing to first base. I want to make sure that my delivery to home and my delivery to first are identical. The only difference is the direction. When I'm going to first base, my direction is going to be more down inside that 45-degree area that I've got to work with. Okay? And then finally is the follow-through. When we throw to first base, we want to make sure we follow the throw. The biggest problem with a lot of lefties is they'll step here, they'll throw, and then they'll cross over, and obviously that looks like they're off balance and they're balking. And that's the number one reason umpires will call balks, is when a pitcher's off balance. When we follow through, we're going to step and we're going to run directly to first base or to where the runner was taking his lead off, because if we pick him off, we're the next guy in line now in case of a rundown. Okay? It's important when you're learning this move to learn the three zones. Zone one is my head and my glove. Okay? I'm going to learn how to control my head and my glove hand together, because really that is the critical element in being able to develop a move. Matt Myers, I mentioned him earlier. Matt still didn't have a very good move when he pitched his senior year. In fact, Matt almost stepped directly at first base. But what Matt did extremely well was he had the great timing between his head and his glove, and he'd turn his head towards first, reach home, and step almost towards first base and pick runners off. The head and the glove are key. So that's what we're going to be working on, is developing timing with the head and the glove. Okay, the second zone is zone 2, which is your feet. And this is where the direction comes in. All right, we want to make sure that we get to a balanced leg lift. If we're going home, we're going home. If we're going to first base, all we're doing is redirecting our body, and we're going down that 45-degree line. Okay, so zone 2, that controls your direction. Zone 3 is a throwing hand. It's really the way we're going to throw. We're going to drop down a little bit and throw to first base. Now, what's important to understand about this move is that you've got 3 different zones working 3 different directions, and we're trying to throw the ball to first base. It sounds difficult, but I'm here to tell you it's not. It's very simple. I've had numerous left-handers that I've worked with, and I've not had one that hasn't picked this up. What we're trying to do is develop the head and the glove hand going home, the lower half going 45 or just inside, and the throwing arm going to first base. It's very simple, and through the series of drills that I'm going to share with you, I'll show you how you can develop that. The hardest part about picking up this move is the throw to first base, okay? But through the drills, your pitches will pick that up very simple. All right, the first one, let's talk about the head a little bit. Go to your next slide. Head looks. I've talked to numerous pitching coaches, and they like to teach, different things on the head looks. I've always been a firm believer of keeping everything consistent. I've always worked off the 3 head look. The first one, obviously, when I get on the mound, I'm going to get my sign from the catcher. The second one, I'm going to come up, I'm going to be looking at the pitcher, and now I'm either going to go home or I'm going to first base. But I'm not going to look home until I get to the top of my leg lift, unless I'm using a setup move. Then I'm going to look home on my first move, okay? But I'm always going to look at the runner, then I'm going to go home when I load up, go to the plate. Second thing is the feet. I think it's important on the feet to be staggered when you start. If you look at the slide, we want to make sure that we've got our feet staggered. Here's what happens when a lefty comes up and he's square. 2 things. Number 1, he's either going to kick out. Number 2, he's going to lean, okay? That's real simple to pick up if you're a base runner, if you get a guy that leans. Once he leans, he's dead meat. There's nothing he can do. You can take off first move, he's going to balk to pick you off, okay? So by having the staggered feet, now all it is a leg lift. Okay, I'm under control, my weight's over my left side, I'm under control, just lift. If he takes off during my leg lift, I just step down and throw to first base. Very simple to adjust, okay? We teach our pitchers that nothing happens till you load up. And once they have that concept, then they're not rushing themselves to go to the plate, which is a common fault in pitchers. Okay, as they're lifting, they're drifting. We want to teach them to load up. Okay, so as they load, if the runner takes off, we just stop what we're doing, step down, throw to first base. It also makes it a lot easier to step down. If I'm staggered and I lift, all I have to do is drop my foot back down. I'm already going towards first base and make the throw. Okay, so the feet are very important. All right, the leg lift has to be controlled and balanced. We just talked about that. We want to make sure that we're under control as we lift the leg and balanced as we lift the leg. We don't want to lift and lean. We don't want to lift and drift. We want to make sure that everything is under control as we lift the leg. Okay, that's critical. Once we get to the balanced position, okay, on top, now I can go either way. I can go to first base or I can go home. From here, all we're going to do is drive 45. Okay, when we lift, we're just driving 45. We're going to look home, we're going to reach home, and we're going to drive 45. Okay, and then once we drive 45, we want to make sure that the glove and the shoulders and the head are facing home, and then we're going to make the throw, and then we're going to follow the throw. All right, now let me go over the drills with you. I'm going to use my partner. All right. First drill is called the chair drill. Purpose of the chair drill is to eliminate, all we're going to work on now is the throwing motion. Okay? We're going to work on the head and the glove, and then we're going to work on the actual throw. I found that this drill right here is probably the best drill, especially early on, to teach pitchers the feel of where the arm's going to be, where your arm slot's going to be. Okay, you ready? All right. What I'm going to do in this drill is I want to make sure that I don't look at my partner when I'm throwing. Now, you can be as close to I am with coach, or you can even be closer, okay? What we're going to work on is just getting a feel of making the throw actually behind us and not looking when we throw. If you have a pitcher that really struggles, then you can have him, as he gets ready to throw, you can have him look when he gets ready to throw, just initially, until he feels where he's going to throw. It's all a matter of feel. What you're going to find is this. As I reach, this is what every lefty that's starting this drill or starting this move, this is what your lefty is going to do the first time they throw a baseball. You guys ready? You sure? Okay, here's what you're going to see. They're going to go here, and they're going to throw here. That's pretty good. You guys are sleeping over there. All right, throw me that wiffle ball back. You thought I was throwing a baseball, didn't you? That was just my decoy. Good arm. Okay. All right. That's where they're going to throw the ball because they're used to reaching where they're going to throw. All right? So trust me, they're going to throw the ball over here. You've got to teach them to throw the ball behind them a little bit. It's going to feel awkward at first, but they'll get the hang of it. Basically, this drill goes like this. You can do it in two parts. You can stop them here, reach, throw. Okay? Now, I'm 50 years old, and I can still do this, like riding a bike. Once they pick it up, they're not going to lose it. Okay? Look, reach, throw. Look, reach, throw. Okay? Now, if you've got a guy that struggles with the throw, as he gets ready to throw, have him look just before he throws the baseball. Okay? Because what's going to happen now is he's going to start getting a feel of the arm actually throwing. Now, I'm not changing my delivery much. Okay? Some lefties got to change a little more than others, but I'm not changing my delivery much. I'm just getting on top of it, throwing off the side of the baseball. Okay? So basically, that's what it's going to look like. We're working the zones 1 and zones 3. All right? Here and throw. Okay? Reach and throw. Now, what you want to do is get to the point where your pitchers never look. They always look down home and throw to first base. Okay? It will become automatic for them. Now, trust me, your guys will pick this up the first day. If you will do these drills daily, you'll see a huge improvement the first day. Okay? It's just a matter of feel. That's all it is. Okay, the next drill is called the stand-up drill. We also call this the rock and roll drill. The purpose of this drill now is just to add a little bit of movement. Now you can feel your loader